So the internet is abuzz with images of this Martin Luther King Jr. statue in Boston called The Embrace. The statue was inspired by a photograph of King and his wife Coretta embracing after he won the 1964 Nobel Peace Prize. And this image here is, as far as I can tell, the only angle in which this sculpture doesn't look grotesque or obscene in some way. So it's called The Embrace, and it is inspired by this picture here. And it seems like an odd choice of a sculpture because when you look at a photo like this, what do you notice? Do you notice the faces or do you notice the arms? Like, is that your main takeaway? Oh, I really like their arms in that photo. I think there's a reason for this because I think the modern left is quite far removed from the ideas of Martin Luther King Jr., and I think they have a little bit of an MLK problem these days. But let's take a look at some other angles of this sculpture. Here's the unveiling. And yeah, that looks like perhaps it's some sort of sex act. Here's another one where it looks to me like maybe somebody holding up their intestines or maybe a giant wiener. It makes me think that it's intentional, that this uninspiring kind of monstrosity was intentional. Because as I said, I think the modern left has a bit of an MLK problem. Because here's some quotes from Martin Luther King Jr. He says, "I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal." Well, that's a problem for the modern left because everything in history that happened before 5 minutes ago is irredeemably racist and evil, and all has to be burnt down. So for the left, there is nothing from the past that you can build anything on. It's all just pure evil. So this doesn't work. How about this one? Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. That doesn't sound like the modern left. Here's Ibram X. Kendi, an anti-racist darling. In his book, How to Be an Anti-Racist, he says, "The only remedy to racist discrimination is anti-racist discrimination. The only remedy to past discrimination is present discrimination. The only remedy to present discrimination is future discrimination." That doesn't sound like somebody who's against injustice. But here's the one that they really don't like. Quote, "I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character." Yes, the modern left does not like this. They have a problem with this. This is antithetical to their modern cult religion. And what do they call this? They call this colorblindness, and they're not for it. In fact, here from Oprah Daily, from Oprah Winfrey, being colorblind doesn't make you not racist. In fact, it can mean the opposite. Experts say the belief makes improving things harder. Yes, and I think that's experts like Ibram X. Kendi. Gee, it says here that the idea of a colorblind society, while well-intentioned, leaves people without the language to discuss race and examine their own bias. Because there could never not be bias, there could never not be racism, because the people who write articles like this will be out of business. It doesn't matter whether it's real or not. It has to, because otherwise they don't have a job. Look at this. Colorblindness relies on the concept that race-based differences, let me repeat that, race-based differences don't matter. So you're starting to get my point here, right? And that's why I'm starting to think that this statue is intentionally bad. It's intentionally uninspiring. Where are the faces? Is this intentionally dehumanizing? I think it might be. And I think because his philosophy is fundamentally incompatible with modern leftist dogma. You know, he's a big enough cultural figure that they can't just completely burn him down, but they can dehumanize him. Just do this thing, which doesn't erase him from history, but it doesn't inspire anybody. I mean, there's nothing kind of noble or inspiring about this at all, is there? Yeah, and look, I mean, Martin Luther King said he didn't want his kids judged by the color of their skin. Modern leftists do. In fact, it's fundamental to their woke philosophy. This is a problem. Also, he was a Christian. They don't like that. And so I say this is something you'd create if you hated MLK. Because you've got this big statue that looks like different things from different perspectives, none of them being noble or inspiring. And I do believe that's the point. And I'm saying straight up, this isn't incompetence. This is intentional. It reduces and lowers the legacy of an important historical figure. And again, there's no faces. Why are there no faces? Why would you take away Martin Luther King's face? It's to dehumanize. And so you end up with this hideous thing. Or maybe it's just that society has forgotten how to represent beauty, because we just don't remember what it looks like anymore. And again, that's the point. Anyway, please subscribe, like, and share. Sharing really helps me out. I thank you for that. I will see you next time.